Goblins are usually weak, but a group of 6 struggles to fight even a few. They can't land hits with their weapons or spells. It's kill or be killed. In Grimgar, goblins are seen as the weakest. Or are they? Haru and Ranta oversleep, missing breakfast duty. Meguzo, Yume, and Shihuru prepare the meal while Minato checks in. They faintly recall words from their past lives, but with no memories, those words begin to lose meaning. Haruhiro only remembers waking up in Grimgar a few weeks ago, hearing voices in a dark room. Stepping out, he saw the confused faces of his party and others, all unsure of where they were or how they got there. They meet Brittany, the eccentric chief of the volunteer soldiers squad in Ortana, who gives them a choice, volunteer or starve. Renji, one of the newcomers, calls Brittany a pervert, prompting Brittany to threaten him with a blade. After deciding to become soldiers in training, they receive 10 silver each to survive until they can earn money by hunting monsters and selling loot. Renji's party consists of the strongest members, while Haruhiro's is made up of the leftovers. Minato realizes they need to join guilds to be effective soldiers. The group discusses their roles and splits up for training. Haruhiro becomes a thief and heads to the Thieves' Guild, where he is ambushed by his sadistic instructor. After 7 days of training, he earns the nickname Old Cat for his squinty, tired-looking eyes. Yume joins the Hunters' Guild, Shihuru the Mages' Guild, Ranta the Dark Knight's Guild, Meguzo the Warriors' Guild, and Minato the Priest's Guild. The party reunites, shares stories, and prepares to scout for goblins. However, they struggle to handle even 2 goblins. Another fruitless day passes without earning a copper. Haru can't sleep and finds Minato awake. They talk under the red moon, and Haru recalls that the moon wasn't red where he came from. The next day, they scout again and spot a lone goblin by the river. Haru suggests a signal, but Ranta ruins their stealth. Haru ends up alone with the goblin, fighting for his life. The others catch up, and Haru takes a knife to the shoulder but manages to stab the goblin's neck. They start to celebrate, but the goblin isn't dead. It leaps up to attack again. Ranta stabs it repeatedly, shocking everyone. This is the first time they've taken a life. After selling the goblin loot, the party takes a break to go shopping. Ranta tries to sneak into the girls' bath, earning a slap from Yume. Rain prevents tracking goblins, and tensions rise between the guys and girls. The next 3 days are unproductive. They head to the old city of Demiro to hunt goblins and practice their tactics. They finally earn some money, and Haru is relieved to buy new clothes. That night, Yume encourages Shihuru to interact with the boys, despite her shyness. Haru values Minato as a leader and friend. Before bed, Haruhiro checks the time since they arrived. It's been 23 days. The party gains new skills and plans to test them on goblins. Yume learns close quarters combat and helps Haru cut down a goblin. Ranta learns the skill Anger, loudly shouting its name. Meguzo says thank you every time he uses his new skill, Rage Blow. Minato learns Smash, allowing him to fight on the front lines while healing the party. Haru notices a crossbow bolt reflecting in the sun and pushes Minato out of the way, taking 2 bolts himself. Minato helps him to cover to heal his wounds. More goblins appear, one giant and the other tall and blue, unlike any they've seen. The party retreats, and just when it seems safe, Minato collapses from an arrow wound. The wound is severe, and Minato is out of magic. The party rushes to the Priest Guild, begging for help, but they're told you can't heal the dead. The priest explains a curse that reanimates corpses after 3-5 days, advising them to cremate Minato to prevent this. They pay for a funeral and gravestone to honor their leader and friend. At Minato's grave, the party pays their respects until Ranta leaves abruptly, earning another slap from Yume. He heads to the tavern, where Haruhiro and Meguzo eventually find him. They argue about Minato's death and what to do next. Another person who woke up in Grimgar suggests they find a new priest, recommending Mary. On their first outing, Mary is cold, disagreeing with their strategies and refusing to heal during battle. Ranta loses his temper, but she puts him in his place. Later, at the tavern, Haru, Ranta, and Meguso vent about Mary. Renji surprises them by offering condolences and a gold coin for Minato's death. Haru refuses, saying Minato wouldn't have wanted charity. Haru apologizes to the girls for not consulting them about a new party member. Yum expresses her frustration, feeling that the lack of communication implies they aren't truly friends. Haru apologizes, and they share their grief for Minato. Shihoru catches them in a seemingly compromising position, but quickly leaves, embarrassed. Ranta insists something is going on between Yum and Haru, despite their explanations. The party decides to be more welcoming to Mary. Though she remains reserved, she heals Meguso after a battle, but refuses to heal Ranta's minor injuries. Mary shows up at the tavern, but neither she nor the party acknowledges each other. Haru starts believing that Minato intended for him to take over as leader, and begins talking to Minato's ghost as a way to cope with his grief. Haru begins assessing the party's combat styles and equipment needs, like getting Meguso a helmet. They invite Mary to dinner, but she declines again. Haru suggests meeting with the person who spoke with Mary. They learn that one of his party members was in Mary's group and explains why Mary is withdrawn. In the Siren Mines, a giant kobold called Death Spots decimated her party. Mary, once like Minato, blames herself for their deaths and hasn't smiled since. Realizing they share a similar loss, the party empathizes with her and decides to support her. While scouting, Haru spots the dagger he dropped when Minato died and almost rushes in, but Yum tackles him. They take a strategic approach and follow the goblins to find their hideout. Haru asks to talk to Mary, who expects to be kicked out. Instead, Haru shares their story of losing Minato and reassures her that they consider her a friend. The group buys Meguso a helmet and continues training, becoming known as Goblin Slayers. They return to the area where Minato was killed, determined to grow stronger. Haru starts seeing a green light that guides his dagger strikes, allowing him to hit vital points for instant kills. Haru, still sleepless, imagines Minato beside him, seeking guidance. Time blurs, marked only by the red moon. The party finally feels ready to avenge Minato and confront the goblins who killed him. They huddle together, vowing not to lose anyone else. Mary begins to warm up to the group. They launch their assault on the goblin hideout, easily taking out the initial goblins. On the top floor, they face tougher foes, the tall blue and giant green goblins, who surprise them with their understanding of human tactics. Meguso takes down the giant goblin with a powerful strike, sending it through the floor. Haru and Yum focus on the tall blue goblin. Haru climbs on top, aiming for its eyes but only pierces its hand. Thrown off, the goblin retreats. The party chases it into another room where it seems defeated. As Ranta moves to strike, a bolt hits Mary in the back, echoing Minato's fate. However, Mary heals herself, showing her growth. The blue goblin attacks, revealing its feigned defeat. Ranta quickly strikes, and Meguso finishes it off. Haru spots the goblin who shot Mary and chases him to the rooftop. They wrestle, sliding down the roof until Haru grabs his black knife and kills the goblin, finally avenging Minato. At Minato's grave, the party reflects, displaying their new badges as full-fledged soldiers. They place the badge they bought for Minato on his grave. Taking a much-needed break, they struggle with the unfamiliarity of downtime. Haru feels lost without training, while Meguso busies himself with chores. Ranta goes fishing and spots Yum practicing rock climbing. Haru meets Mary for coffee, and they head to the tavern to meet the others, where Haru suggests new challenges to avoid complacency. They consider training against kobolds in the Siren Mine. Mary, overwhelmed by memories, has an anxiety attack but reasons that facing the mine could bring her closure. Haru visits the Thieves' Guild to learn new skills and asks about the green light guiding his strikes. Barbara explains it's common among thieves but unusually frequent for Haru. The party enters the Siren Mine, quickly dispatching 3 lesser kobolds. Ranta takes their nose rings, which Mary identifies as protection talismans. She explains the kobold hierarchy, lesser, normal, and elderly kobolds. To avoid heavily guarded areas, they navigate the mines via wells. Ranta's disregard for ethics sparks tension, particularly when he suggests killing sleeping kobolds. Haru, questioning Ranta's attitude, attempts to understand him, but Ranta remains aloof, uninterested in friendship. In the mines, Ranta sets off an alarm, drawing Death Spot's attention. Mary has a flashback of her old team before Haru snaps her back to reality. With Death Spots pursuing them, Mary leads the party to a Luminaris temple, a rare safe zone in the mines. There, Mary finds the staff she left behind when she fled. 3 figures appear, her former comrades, raised by the curse of the No-Life King. Mary, having learned a spell to break the curse, faces them with the party's support. Haru attempts to strategize, but Ranta bluntly reminds him he's not Minato. They fend off the undead long enough for Mary to cast the spell, freeing her friends' souls. As the party regroups, Death Spots crashes through the wall. Outnumbered, they scramble up scaffolding to escape. Haru slips but is caught by Ranta. Just as they seem safe, the scaffolding collapses under Ranta, who falls into a swarm of enemies. The party decides to rescue him, honoring their promise to let no one die. Ranta manages to reach the next level, inadvertently drawing more kobolds. As they move in, Death Spots emerges from below, but Yum blinds him with her last arrow, allowing the party to escape. With the coast clear, they start their exit, but Death Spots chases them up the shaft. Haru leaps into action, urging the party to flee as he and Death Spots tumble over the edge. Haru regains consciousness alone with Death Spots. Facing death, the green light appears again, guiding his dagger into the creature's one good eye, killing it. Haru collapses and later awakens with Mary by his side, joking about being in heaven. The party rejoices outside, having earned a bounty of 30 gold for defeating Death Spots. Haru, now firmly their leader, divides the spoils. Though his past memories remain lost, Haru treasures the new ones he's making with his friends and resolves to become a better leader as they continue their journey in the world of Grimgar.